Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Games 101. This will be a Dr. of Ghetto video. I'm also called Dr. of Ghetto on the internet, and obviously you can check back my history of many videos I made about advocacy and activism. So far, I'm doing a mixture of both my business and also this advocacy. This is a video response to a video I saw a BitChute called "Our Government Should Face Charges of Terrorism Over the COVID Lie," and it's by an uploader. It was uploaded by Gazy Young, and it seems that the picture I'm looking at of the profile picture is a different guy from the actual guy in the video. So if the actual guy that is part of the is the uploader, please refer this to the person in the video altogether. So to clarify things too. So I'm not sure it's the actual original video of this in the description box below of the actual user. So it can be reposted or whatever. So that person, obviously, like I said, send that over to that actual person. So anyway, and if he's watching this, he can listen to, obviously. So basically, I've been listening to him, and I understand that there's been a terroristic type of claim towards the government, especially with Donald Trump, with Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Bill Clinton, with the Bushes, you name it. I mean, all this stuff is piling on to each other because as early as January 2019, from what I gathered, the COVID-19 was pre-planned. Now, obviously, that's just a conspiracy theory, right? Well, some guy, I don't know, it's kind of strange, right? Just some guy on the internet, like, just a guy like me, it's just another guy like me telling you the same thing almost, that as early as January 2019, there was legislation passed regarding about this matter at hand. And this was you can look this up on the internet. You can just look up a random video about the matter at hand. There's got to be at least a few hundred videos about the matter by now, and I'm just one of those few hundred people. So thank you for watching this video. So it's all about basically sending about $1,000 per person, about over $3,000 per family, depends on how many children you have, of this COVID-19 shutdown of the economy. They want to control the economy to the best of their ability so you don't have independent thought, which that's the last thing that they don't want you should have, to now independent living or independent economic activity or independent business. And I'm getting tired of being on welfare myself, guys. I'm on welfare. And what this guy in the video said by the user Gazy Young that uploaded it, so they're two different people by the looks of things. Hopefully they're affiliated with each other. If this is ridiculous, we shouldn't have to all of us be on some form of control or actual affiliation with the government, financially speaking. We shouldn't have to be on food stamps and WIC and SNAP and all these other food programs and child mother programs. There's also Social Security, which that's beneficial for a short term, but it's starting to become a very big problem in the long run. So, and plus, the person in the video explained that there's a lot of people digging up dirt all over the place, or people going back to people's pasts and trying to expose them and stuff like that. If you ever expose me in the future, whoever may concern, let it be known there might be World War III on the hand. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to start it. They were willing to go to World War III if they found out I found out about Barack Obama or the Bushes. Which is kind of strange to know. All you got to do is read. Like, the newspaper, the articles, because the internet, yeah, there's certain things you can get out of the internet for the truth. But then you have to go to the library or go to read the magazine at the newsstand, if there's such thing as newsstands anymore. You know, we're the last Generation Y, to experience a solidified grasp of information and gain knowledge of that information. Because anyone after Generation Z and beyond, from that here on out, they're going to be based upon their information on the internet only. Perhaps there'll be a few that will go back and look at old books from the library, old books, audio, DVDs, perhaps even microfilms of old newspapers, and perhaps even ask their families and friends or their dads for like old newspaper clips they kept over the years, stuff like that, or articles in magazines, that type of stuff too. Because I have articles upon articles from 2008 till 2011 about this stuff. Now, of course, not everything is true. There's no such thing as an absolute truth in this society, or perhaps even the world altogether. You know, at one point in form, I thought I had the truth too, or the absolute truth to things. And when I come to the conclusion is that you know I cannot find what I find, or I thought that this truth is intertwined, not intertwined, but going against my truth that I was raised up to be. For example, leaders like, you know, Bush and Clinton and Obama now, you thought that these guys are just the greatest of the great leaders prior to the internet. I mean, the mainstream internet, not 1990 World Wide Web release to the public. That's just the beginning of a huge beginning. But as of this moment, for since 2010, 2008, in my perspective, as what I see, it's starting to become more and more like a, you know, like an exposure era. Because everyone exposes everyone, everyone knows everyone's business, everyone knows this and that and the other thing. And it's like, and decreases the value of the hierarchy of positions of power. Whether it's just in a democracy or in a republic, whether it's a monarchy or oligarchy, you know, that's not there anymore. There's no such thing as actual structural authoritarian or authority. And I'm not saying I want that kind of structure of absolute authority over me, but we used to have this perspective prior to the 2000s, where it's like, these are our leaders, they did this, that, and the other thing, and whatever the truth or whatever the supposed conspiracy theory was, it was just like a lie or whatever, and we just like brush it to the side. And like news stations like ABC, NBC, they just scrub it on the rug. But they do bring about information and news to other people in actual truthness. You know, yeah, they do, but it's just not as a direct fulfilling, not detail oriented. So it's kind of like making this a narrative that, okay, we have the truth here for you. Here you go. But now with the internet, everyone knows how to get the information through the government, where it's hacking, dark web, all this stuff, and it's like, I'm not trying to expose everything, but my God, this should be simple. This has been on the internet for decades. And not only that, forget about the internet, I'm sure there's books out there of these elites or these New World Order people talking about, like, we're going to take over the human populace and destroy sanity, humanity, and devastatingly just destroy the well-being of the human being. What's kind of strange are they human beings as well. So it's like the self-destruction of mankind, right? Could be World War III, right? But this, they try to start something, and they've been starting things for many times. How many years? But there's always a backlash to it. The economy, for example. Now you cannot fix the economy, the government, because how are you going to spend $3.3 trillion as a current, the second stimulus, you want to call it like that, and then the 2.2 trillion from last month? Like, how can you do that? There's just no other way you can just spend all this money. Oh, sure, you have the treasuries, like Peter Schiff of the Economist said back many years ago, talking about the treasuries, along with others like Mark Farber and the trend journalist Gerald Salente. These guys have been at it. These guys have been talking about this for years. We should have already have this government, not like an overthrow per se, but a major transition of power over the next 10 years. You know, because of what Obama supposed to be the first black president to do something like that. But you found out what he has that secret of his past about being the son of Malcolm X, and then he's affiliated with the Weather Underground and stuff like that, or one of the members of Weather Underground. I forgot his name already, of the member of the Weather Underground. So it's like, wow, this is you know, and it's, I understand people people just wondering why am I so focused on just this Obama character, or the Obama presidency, or the Obama legacy, in a sense. It's just that it was staged, it was controlled, it felt like a bamboozle to people who found out about these other claims about this leader and lean on to his legacy now. So it's kind of like, the first black president. Most of the black citizens, like myself, who are older than me, obviously, went through segregation, Jim Crow. Those my grandparents specifically, especially, and they see this and they're like, yes, finally we have our first black president. Because back in 2004, I was mistreated by most of the non-black people, especially the whites. And it sounds very racial, right? Racism, to say that. Oh, sure, it's not like mistreatment, but it's like this interaction of mistreatment. If it's something like that, if you say it like that, they ignore me, they leave me alone. I don't like them. Well, no, they don't like me. I don't like them. Well, I try to like them before they didn't like me at first. But that's what happens when you have an education or have some form of common sense. You thought that you were the inferior, but you're actually just more or less just a regular guy talking the truth. And I wasn't even thinking about politics as much as now, as what's going on back then. I heard of Bush-Iraq war. I saw the bombings on TV that Bush put on the Iraq back in 2003, of March 2003. Just what to do? What to do, right? Like, what to do about the problem at hand? And we'll all donate to these charities and advocacy groups and think tanks. And sometimes it's not about the cause, it's about money to make that cause happen, and that starts to be putrid and infertile after all, because the money has been tainting that type of cause. So it's kind of like, you're not going to have a very huge, numerous amount of people at one time coming together to put their differences aside and just overthrow the government for no money involved with it, none whatsoever. That's not going to happen. Money is power. And, the protocols of Zion that William Cooper talked about is, it's very deep within society. There's so many organizations, so many secret societies that are going up against people for their livelihood, or not necessarily livelihood, but they want to keep it at bay, this flourishing of the economy, like Trump has been saying. Now, Trump maybe trying to redeem himself to be president of the United States from what he did deals with China. I don't know what the whole story about that. But China's been involved with our economy directly or overflowingly into the economy since the 1990s, from what I heard, from what I was told by my teachers. And these teachers are, not all my teachers, but a good portion of them. Let's say if I never moved to Valley Stream, or moved to Long Island, if you want to call it like that, general speaking, I think I would not know what I know right now. And if I do, it's going to be very disorganized and lack detail, and I'll be screaming and hollering rather than calmly explaining about it. Oh, sure, I'll be screaming and hollering at people online somehow, some way, through other means, like Xbox Live, you can hear in the background with the Halo music, taking a break from that. But, you just keep on moving. You just keep on pushing it. We have to come to some conclusion as people that we can't just expose everyone all the time, every time, for whatever they try to do. But if we hear all these negative connotations that communism is bad, there's a big communist agenda for the last 50 to 60 years in this country, and there's a people who we know who we are as a group, or groups of other groups, and affiliate with other groups, or see other groups, of our same interests, same culture, not culture per se, but interests, cause, and dedication and loyalty. If every group come together like that, that would be something of a good cause right there. But you know, it's too late. They're way ahead of us. If you want to go into extremes like be a terrorist or fucking whatever you want to do, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but I'm not. It sounds like I'm just promoting violence, right? But it's not promoting violence. It's the fact that what is really there to do if you can't take the drastic measures? It can't sacrifice money, sacrifice livelihood, even our lives over liberty and freedom and freedom of speech, and to have flourishing economies, flourishing businesses, flourishing lifestyles, economic lifestyles, financial status that's very high in every person. Even if the poorest of the poor are don't have much money, they have some buying power. They have potential to get up in the hierarchy, higher structures, the socioeconomic ladder of society. Instead of being low class or socioeconomic low class, citizen like myself, I can move up very quickly or more efficiently, slowly, into more of a rich billionaire. Some will do most people do that, but only an extreme few will get to that billionaire, millionaire, even six figures. While the rest of those will just have regular income. That would be great, at least that. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out because I'm not going off topic with what this person in the video said on that I responded to, but this is ridiculous. We should be able to get things done by now. It's been 10 years from what I did. I see some change, especially since 2011, especially 2011, with the birth certificate being released and Donald Trump trying to put himself out there for presidency somehow, some way. That's what these news people were saying back then. Into 2012, I mean, of course, they've been talking about Donald Trump being president since the 1990s, right? But he ran for president back in 2000 or something of that sort. It was more of like a stunt, a public stunt, than an actual campaign. But it's something close to that. So, rolling this together somehow, some way. We should be able to. We should be able to come together. We should be able to get along, understand each other. But so there's going to be some form of jealousy, hatred to other groups. And if we can't talk about our issues, then and we did it. We did how many times with how many issues that they came up with, that were brought up unexpectedly and solved in a matter of time. I guess we cannot really able to do these other things like the reform of government in the United States here, at least that to us Americans, or get rid of this IMF, get rid of the World Bank, the World Court, the United Nations. Even though the United Nations isn't friends with us with the government as the United States, we still have a stake in the United Nations somehow, some way. I mean, Malcolm X tried to do something with the problems of racism back in the 60s before he died. Prior to his last speech that he got killed at by those four guys, he was about to go to the United Nations afterwards. And I'm not sure how long afterwards though, but he was about to move things into motion to make file of written and a hearing to the United Nations of racism. Like when Nene Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn went to the United Nations, they begged for, puppies, unicorns from the United Nations, for, not be bullied by these incels. At the time, we're not incels, but they were gamers. Us gamers out there. So it's like, who they're really fooling? The Nene Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn, just to go off topic, of course, again. I mean, I'm doing my best to make things okay. I understand it's not my responsibility to make society, in a sense, get better, because I have my own problems too, to some extent. But if we all contribute to each other, we may not everyone, not one person can help everyone, even if they're rich per se, but everyone can help someone, and that's what I believe in. And if you believe in communism, socialism, uh, whatever is in regards of those beliefs, if you're part of the Communist Party or affiliate with them, if you think about it in your sleep or think about it while doing your day-to-day activities of communism, you should be able to share, donate, and do all this stuff, because there's no way you say you're a communist but you don't share your money, or you're part of your money, or some type of resources that you have to give to others. Because I'm not saying I'm pro-communist. I'm more of a moderate. I think of pro-capitalism, or maybe reform of the capitalism to sustain some form of, socioeconomic, decency. But that's not going to happen with just me being in that situation. We all have these different ideas to do and to overcome. But it's just that it's all about this not sharing or not caring about others. And after a while, you do your best to care for them. You do your best to be there for them. You do your best to be loyal to them. I actually did that stuff to some of these people, and I'm sure, there's some people out there who predict the same way too to me. Well, what can we do with these people? You can't just force them to be with your cause or be your friend altogether in a general friendly sense, or that they never cared about you. They never went out their way for you. They criticize you, look down upon you, saying that, "Oh, Charles, I see you doing. What are you doing? Why you sit up in that room all the time? Like, what do you think? I don't do nothing with my life? You think I'm just what the hell?" Like, that's my perspective on that matter, from what I gather from a conversation I had with one of my locals. You know, I mean, what else to say? Like, if you don't have the money, you can't progress very well. And no matter how much political might you have, if you don't have money to back up those political mights, you might as well just stick with podcasts, and that's about it. That's the best thing you can do so far. But if you have money, you have ability to gather resources and utilize and make this money and resources viable to your cause, and to sacrifice it to gain something else or to gain more of in return, anything's possible. But as the saying goes, the battle of the bullet, which is kind of strange though, that song that turned out very gracefully, very well, because no one's not thinking about the battle of the bullet premise from Malcolm X's perspective. And this is one of the reasons why I kind of looked at Malcolm X as a good leader, even though he had problems, with his past with drugs, and his family was attacked by the Ku Klux Klan and all that stuff. You only can't put so much on the guy just to take it, just to not take him seriously. But it's just that with Obama, with the connection with Malcolm X thing, it makes you feel like you just can't do much after a while, because how is it that you have Barack Obama come into office showing his credentials at first, or whatever, because I'm sure you have to show your credentials in order to start running for president. There's some procedure going on with that matter. And then start to, just be able to run for president, and he gets away with all this stuff. And later on, the IRS scandal, Operation Fast and Furious, the FISA warning, the Russia Gate thing. Now all of a sudden with Michael Flynn. Well, I'm hearing from other people on the internet, or from in general speaking. But we either got away with it, or it's just never happened, and that's the fucked up part. I mean, it would be nice I would give him credit. I know as I'm going off topic again, I'm just rambling to tell you what's on my mind and what's going on out there, as in my perspective. But I guarantee you, if Obama really is not what people say he is on the internet, including myself, he would have to file a lawsuit to every major underground news company out there that put that information about himself being that person. Whether it's the birth records, the identity of his father, who his father is, stuff like that. All this bullshit, if you want to call it bullshit, right? All this stuff, he should sue everyone. And then make it public that he's suing everyone about the matter here. Like Trump was doing, he sued Rosie O'Donnell with defamation. It was something like that back in the 2000s or the 90s. You know? If Trump could do it, so can Obama. And in addition to that, I know he can't do it all. I'm sure he has lawyers. I'm sure he has legal staff. You know, get the legal staff of whoever the movers and shakers are in the legal staff to file copyright claims or community guideline strikes on YouTube and other video sites, especially YouTube. YouTube has 50% of all internet videos, so that's a big start right there. File claims saying like that channel talked about me, like, oh, about my past, and I have proof now. Let's take him out. And then sounds authoritarian, right? Sounds like what Susan is doing with YouTube right now, but it's more of a proof. That's the closest, the smallest and least type of proof he can do to the conspiracy theory community, if you want to call us that, or if we are all conspiracy theories and we're telling the truth the whole time, right? Show some might. Show that you are what you say you are, and people will believe you from that proof, or that might, or whatever you want to put out there, saying that you actually prove that you are what you say you are. You are Barack Hussein Obama. You were born in Hawaii. You were born in 1961. You were not affiliated with the Weather on the Ground member as you were getting older and having your white side of the family have all its connections to riches and glory and Queen Elizabeth and whatever claims out there about Obama, because this is ridiculous. Because my fortune cookie said to me, and I want to leave it off with this. My fortune cookie told me no man has ever been dropped from on the top of a mountain and sat there like that. There's just no way. Not like that. No, that's impossible. Because all these conspiracy theories, how's that work? How's that gonna work well with the claim on Obama birth records or Bush Iraq War and stuff like that, and Prescott George W. Bush's grandfather was involved with the Nazis, giving them financial support. Thanks to that back in the 1940s. That right there should tell you something. All this, something's not adding up properly, and we should investigate it properly. And I hope Trump, in his last years, not only as president of the United States, but as a man of influence to the public for many, many decades, to look into this matter about Obama's presidency and his records and his affiliations. And if this really is a war crime or war criminal, so be it. And you know what's funny? This was all over the news. This was in the newspapers, your libraries. But I'm the crazy one to read all this stuff, or I'm the crazy one to think all this stuff, because I just read. It's not some declassified information. And if it is declassified, okay, so I put it in the book, like William Cooper put his declassified paperwork, whatever he get his hands on from the government, that type of stuff. Like, come on, we should be called, this era should be called the stupid revolution, because we're too stupid to look up the information and read it. Now, I'm not saying I'm arrogant, I know it all, but my God, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? So I've been at it for what, about a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes now. Please, thumbs up, subscribe and share, donate to my Patreon, Dr. Games 101. You can PayPal me. Everything's down below in the description box. And comment. Let's discuss this matter. You guys got keyboards, all right? So I'll be nice to have a nice, decent conversation with a couple of guys, or just comment whatever you want to comment. Say thanks, Charles. Thank you very much. We thank you and all that stuff. We thank you for your information, your perspective on this matter. I'm not trying to get praise or make you sweep off my feet per se, but we have to. I have to understand. People understand where I come from. And if you say I'm a fat piece of shit, or great job, Charles, or go get a job, or get off of whatever you're getting off of from talking conspiracy theories, I should go back to the nut house, all that stuff. Go ahead, say that to me in the comments below. Bye.